What's up, everybody? All right. When we left off last time, we were looking for this hidden door, and I found it here. I got the code after I killed the Chaos Marine, I believe, or maybe it was the other boss, the Slaver boss. I don't remember which one it was. But anyway, I got the key code, got to the door, but that's where I left off last night because we were already a couple hours in. So we're about to head on inside. Let me double check one thing before we start. Make sure we're ready to go. I've been streaming about 5 o'clock the past few days over the holidays, but I'm streaming early today because Chris and I want to watch some TV tonight. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do it early, and we will go watch TV. So we're going to watch, we got to catch up with the last couple of episodes of Reacher, episodes 4 and 5, and we're going to try out the new Percy Jackson show on Disney+. First 3 episodes have aired. It's been getting rave reviews, mostly because it is extremely faithful to the source material because the creator is actually involved with this adaptation as an executive producer and co-writer. So he's being able to hands-on oversee the adaptation, something that didn't happen when they did the films, like 10 years ago when the films were. Yeah, Reacher has been fantastic. All right, I'm getting comfy. I'm turning the controller on. I'm going to sit down and play today. I've been doing lots of other stuff on my feet today, so I'm gonna relax in my chair.
Let us not dawdle.
Now, I think this is the last of Heinrich's objectives on this planet. But I think there are other things to do on Kiabagama beyond the Manufactorum. I'll have to check the journal later. Alright. What is in those cages? That looks nasty.
Is there money to be made?
The screen of the cogitator shows a scrolling line of repeating Technolingua. Are these abominations? Oh. Numerous wires and pipes run to the filthy cages, which are filled with what looks like a conglomeration of human bodies. Oh, wow. You cannot make who is in the cage, but bright blue sparks flash intermittently in the darkness with a mass of flesh, twitches and shudders. That's nasty. So they're balls of human beings, like... Heinrichs cast a scrutinizing eye over one of the cages before withdrawing his weapon and approaching to examine what lies inside. Careful, Heinrichs. Look at it. He gestured towards the cage closest to you. Through the metal bars, you see it truly is a pile of human bodies, or something that used to be. The monstrously deformed bodies have fused together in places, while others were severed using saws and knives, leaving wounds seeping pus and slime. Wounds that are agglutinating and sprouting tendons. Rods connected to wires that run to a nearby cogitator bristle across the flesh. One of the humans' heads turns to you. Mercy! Even attempting to speak causes the mutant pain, but he bears the agony and forces out the words. Mercy! Make it stop. Alright, let's do a medica test. You examine the pulsating mass of flesh. The creature in the cage seems to be composed of several bodies joined together. You see no sutures or any other means by which the separate parts could have been connected. Among the layers of meat, you can discern large knots of muscle, various limbs, exposed bones, parts of faces, and entire heads. Only warp sorcery is capable of creating such an abomination while preserving its ability to live on. I'm shooting it in the head. The flesh explodes in a mountain of lumps, stinking spray, and bone shards. The gaping wound closes in an instant, and a different face emerges from the fleshy depths in place of the lost head. Oh wow, that's not good. The mutant's body is pulsing faster, harder, as though the abomination's heart rate is spiked with fear. A many-voiced moan rises up from all the other cages at once. The pain was felt by all who share the mutant's horrific fate. That also is not... That's not good, man. Alright, what is this? Heinrich takes in his surroundings and once again fixes his attention to the contents in the nearest cage. I'm beginning to have some idea. The Lex mechanic mentioned the inhabitants of the lower levels who had been imprisoned in their homes. He said some of them were brought here. The cultists did something to these poor people in their own home, and now they are studying the results. Ugh. Yeah, so the Lex mechanic also mentioned some kind of slag waste disposal and chaos symbols on machines. What are the arch enemy's minions doing to the people of the lower levels? To know the meanings of the works of dark sorcery means allowing corruption into oneself, Heinrich scowls. These are warp mutations, no doubt. Perhaps there was some side effect, and that's why they were brought here, but to be connected to senses and cogitators. Even fallen tech priests who have projected the Omnissiah are driven by a perverted hunger for knowledge. Why are they hooked up to cogitators? Lingua Technis, corrupted by the scrap code, I'm sure. It's unlikely we will ever be able to extract anything of value from their data crypts. Thinking, Heinrich clenches his fist and bites down on a knuckle, then recoils when the mutant from the nearest cage reaches a hand at him through the bars. Blood. Food. You. A human female face watches you from the gleam of the cage. Even though half of her head has been turned into a mess of bone and lumpen growths, her single eye looks at you with a surprising amount of intelligence. You promised! You promised us! Her words are echoed by other voices in the depths of the cages. Heinrich leans towards the cage, but at a sufficient distance to ensure the mutant cannot reach him. Who are you talking to? What did they promise you? Who are they? You took us from the inferno. You promised us a reward. You did. Her face contorts in a grimace, and the creature's lips stick together like melted wax. I'll be damned, they can still speak. They remember the people who did this to them. Heinrich balls his fist in powerless rage, then frowns in thought. Perhaps biomancy will allow us to draw the fragments of knowledge out of them. Well, it could also trigger further changes. Idira curses furiously. A little biomancy? This is a tangle of flesh and bone. Come on, Iceman, let them die in peace already. Heinrich turns to Idira. You don't see his face, but you do see her suddenly shrink and cast her eyes down. Abelard says, not missing Pascal's sober interest in the proceedings. Welcome to YouTube, Ronald Korn. Don't forget, everybody, that we're also multi-streaming on Twitch, so you can check us out over there. So Abelard notices Pascal's sober interest. Esteemed Magos, those are your comrades. If I may ask, do you feel any compassion for them, or regret? Regret for the losses that these people represent to the Adeptus Mechanicus? Negative. What I am currently observing is not my tech comrades, but merely their biological functioning remains fashioned into a specimen of an unnatural perversion of technology. I am under no directives to feel any affinity for such specimens. Alright, Heinrichs, let this go. You're only prolonging their suffering. I am inclined to relieve their suffering. Every moment of existence in such a state is pure torture for the people locked in these sheaths. Alright, let's do it. Heinrichs wavers for one more moment, then leans over the cogitators. Each mutant has cables attached. I may not know the nature of these machines, but it isn't too difficult to increase the voltage. This switch here. Is this going to create like a super mutant that we have to fight? You hear the crackle of electricity. The wires glow with blue sparks, and the creatures locked in the cages drop lifelessly to the floor. The sharp tang of burned meat hangs in the air. That's that then. But you know what bothers me, Rogue Trader? The number of people here. There are too few. The lower levels of similar manufacturers are inhabited by millions. What happened to the rest of them? I know I won't like that answer. Let's go. We still haven't done what we came here to do.
I always keep my options open.
None of that is good. We should quick save.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, here's the data vault.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
This massive cogitator grows out of metal bulkheads into like a grotesque tumor. A hollow roar sounds from deep within the metal housing. Whatever spurred the computer into action, it has enough power to supply a small command center. And as soon as your eyes fall upon it, you feel a tingling in your temples. Every nook, every component of the machine radiates a sense of wrongness, one that is difficult to explain but no less palpable for it. It's as though the construct itself defies the laws of physics and perspective. Heretics makes a warning gesture. Stop, Renfail! This is the creation of the archenemy. Don't go near enough. Don't go near it. You've done enough for me and my mission. Don't put yourself at risk now. As soon as Heinrich takes another step towards the cogitator, it emits a deafening shriek like hundreds of metal needles driving into toughened glass, as though sensing the stranger. Wincing, Heinrich approaches the control panel and bends down across the screens. Despite the heat clogging the room, you feel an ice-cold breeze, as Heinrich is clearly using his psycho abilities to try to fend off the pernicious effects of the Chaos artifact. Pascal says the Omnissiah's grace has not touched this object. This mechanism was not desecrated, but born flawed and unnatural. Iron, most profane. Initiating observation log. Let us not fear stand in the path of knowledge. You just said this thing is an abomination, yet you people are going to immerse yourself in it to study it. Doesn't the thought repel you? Alright, squeamishness is not relevant. Alright, let's approach it. Heinrich is too engrossed to stop me. Alright, do I have logic? Success. The cogitator displays a wall of text on its screens. The string of symbols is a senseless mixture of numbers, formulas, and unfamiliar characters. There seems to be no logic to it, and yet there is no doubt that the cogitator is computing calculations on a prodigious scale. Let's examine the wiring. Oh no, it's writing. Lord Captain, no, says Adira. Just don't look. The whispers say nothing good will come of it. You really should step away. Alright, look at the cables. Clearly added after the machine came off the production line. They disappear inside a maintenance hatch that leads somewhere down below. So let's take a step back. Take a step backwards and suddenly one of the cogitator screens changes colors to a bright yellow and your eyes are helplessly drawn to the bilious hue. Ooh, I succeeded a willpower test. You turn sharply away from the screen. You can almost feel invisible shackles falling away. You realize a moment later that you were not fighting against your own will, but against someone's malevolent... Oh, you were not fighting against your own curiosity, but someone's malevolent will, which has now lost its hold on you. Alright, keep my distance. Wait. Alright. Heinrich is doing his thing. Something about sacrifices. Hectocomb determinants. The womb of this cursed machine is down in the lower levels. This cogitator is fueled by the energy harnessed from thousands of people who are flowing beneath our feet as slag waste as we speak. That's not good. I cannot, however, imagine the reason for sacrificing all these people. It's inconceivable. But now we know why the fabricator sensor prized this monster so highly. Cursed tech priests and associates created something that went beyond the limits of the Omnissiah's power. This machine is designed to process possibilities with warp sorcery. It's almost finished its task. It predicts the future. Are you alright? I'll be fine. Alright, how is that even possible? Alright, he's not going to give me an answer. Idura opens her mouth to speak, but then drops her gaze awkwardly. Okay, yeah, we need to stop it for the sake of the people down below. Oh, he almost got suckered in by keeping it going for the information. All right. His movements now are exact and purposeful, unlike his earlier operation. One after another, the cogitator's screens begin to fade to black, and a roar coming from inside the machine quietens to a barely imperceptible howl, in which you imagine you hear notes of dejection. Heinrich spins over the keys and then flinches, as if from an electric shock. The cogitator lets out a roar that grows louder by the second. Oh no! That
heresy ends here.
All right, we're gonna get a big bad boss fight. The Screamer of Cinch. Well, I gotta timestamp this. 21 minutes in. Screamer of Cinch. All right, cool. Well, let's see how this boss fight goes. I have no idea what to expect here. I'm going to leave Heinrichs where he is. Get Abelard over here. Get Adira over here. Get Pascal over here. Get Jay down. Here we go. Oh, of course it summons lots of ads. Haha. Alright, smart thing to do is just...
They who discern the future on the battlefield. But of course.
Something stole my momentum, so...
Stop mocking me. On it. Will do. My prescience has failed me.
It's always interesting to see how that works. Alright. Okay, let's see here, buddy. If I had to guess, we probably need to get the Herald down pretty quick.
I'll see to it personally.
I don't have line of sight, or what? Pink horror. Well, I do have line of sight to this, so let's just...
It's as good as done. The best defense is a good offense. Who, if not me? I'll make it happen.
Alright, yeah, the Herald is bad news. Well, that's not cool, man.
Focus.
Alright, Abelard. Honestly...
A tactically sound approach.
Indeed.
It's not really what I wanted to do, but it's gonna be good. I can go defensive stance. Let's go ahead and trigger this, because at least I'll get one attack off on it. Okay. Alright, this is where things get kind of funky. We kind of need to take care of... Let's buff our peeps first. Let's do... Yeah, let's heal. Let's do the AoE heal, Light of the Emperor. There we go.
Stay with us.
Alright, my dear.
Don't get too
Abelard.
cocky. You've got a problem, I've got a prize.
Alright, Abelard.
Victory is the target well struck. At your beck and call.
Can I give this to Pascal? Yeah.
They'll write legends about me.
Alright, Heinrichs is down, so whatever she did to Heinrichs sucks, but...
My vow is
It spawned something else, or what did that do? It spawned a blue horror now. Oh my.
right to post-mortem servitorization denied.
I'm not close enough to get it with my attack, am I? No, because it needs to be one more. It sucks. Alright.
Don't get too cocky. Tell me, and it is done.
Can we get this one down?
Farewell.
Nice. Yeah, it's some creepy beast is what it is. That's what it is. I have no idea. It's called the Screamer of Cinch, I think is what it was called. Alright, I really need to get over here and take care of this dude, so... Because the Herald only does bad things.
The Omnissiah knows all. The Omnissiah condemns you. Request approved.
God, Pascal has turned into a beast with how many attacks he can do. Alright.
I'll see to it personally. Consider this a
61. I think that's my best hit yet. It was a 61 points of damage. That's pretty good, man.
Who, if not me? You never stood a
66. I did even more that time. My. How far out can I? Do I have line of sight on these two D-bags? Surely I do. Let's mark these two dudes.
I'll make it happen.
I'm only gonna get one of them.
Here's my perfect moment.
Surely I can shoot these two dudes.
It's
Get
as
that
good
one.
as done. Your end was
72. Holy crap, man.
on it. Another enemy down.
As the tactical imperative dictates. The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Vital functions successfully terminated.
Alright, we still have these other ones over here. I think this is his AoE. Yeah, here it is.
Quest approved.
Ha ha ha! Cup-a-Skell is a beast. Alright, Heinrichs is up. Heinrich stares at the smoldering ashes of the demon and then of the destroyed cogitator. The furrow in his brow slowly smooths out and his face looks almost contented. Creation of chaos is no more. I hope the fabricator sensor did not have time to pass on the secrets of this creature to his associates, and I hope the survivors down in the lower levels can hold on until we liberate Kiavagama. Yeah, I saw something happen to you, Heinrichs. What happened when you touched the machine? He jerks his head and waves away the question, his movements sharp and unnatural. Talk about it later, but right now, I must thank you. Without your help and cooperation, I doubt I would have reached the depths of Kiavagama and learned the truth behind my agents' dispatches and reports. I would never have ended up here, and I would never have succeeded in hampering the cult's activities. Dare I hope, esteemed interrogator, that your keen interest in this Von Valancius world has been satisfied? Heinrich replies, oh? Apart from the fact that the world is still seized by the arch-enemy's corruption, its populace infected with heresy, and the once sacred machines of its manufacturing have been turned into weapons against humanity? You're quite satisfied, yes. My business here is concluded. It's time to return to the mission that brought you here to this industrial world first. The only thing I'll ask of you as an audience when we return to the ship. Alright, so we've officially helped him with the completion of that big bad boss fight. We've helped Heinrichs complete his quest here on the planet. Where are we at time-wise? 33 point. Another episode in the big bad boss fight journals.
Always keep your eye on the
Is there
prize.
loot? There is not any loot. What is there? Any way to... anything else to explore in here? It doesn't look like it.
Come here.
Do you I know how to take risks. I always have a backup plan.
Well, I would like to go back to the Void ship so I can ditch Heinrichs and grab somebody else.
I always keep my options open.
I'm not a Heinrichs. I like him as a class, but I don't like him as a individual. He's way too... I'm Mr. Imperial. Smeagol. What's up, buddy? I think whenever we get into the new office, I want to get a cat stand so that you guys can see him, because he sleeps in here with me every day. I mean, I show him off occasionally by putting the camera down there, but you know, Lucas was my big baby for the first year until he started chewing everything up, and then Lucas has not been allowed to stay in the office since then. They have to come in the office when the hot weather gets here because we have the only air conditioner in the house.
Keep your wits about you.
So at some point, Lucas will be back in here, but Lucas is just, you gotta keep your eye on him because he will eat. I mean, he's destroyed, it's probably $600 now. 2 headsets, 2 charging cables. What was he chewing up the other day? Chris found him chewing up something else. Oh, he destroyed some of her hair ties.
Is there money to be made?
She just found hair ties in pieces. Oh, and then like a week ago, she pulled out her she had her what's about to happen here? That's Heinrichs. What's he doing? Sharp pain pierces your head and the light dims in your eyes. You smell smoke and burning. You feel a wave of nausea. Your legs buckle and your knees hit the metal floor. In the same moment, the manufactorum surrounding you disappears in a whirlwind of mist, ash, and gray shadows. Anyway, Lucas, Christina pulled one of her jackets out, one of our old travel windbreakers that she got in Ireland, and left it hanging on the front of her bicycle to dry out because she went out one day and got a little bit wet. And it has on the bottom where it goes around your waist, it has string draw ties. And Lucas got the draw ties and chewed one of them off, swallowed a piece of it. Chris is like, Tim, Lucas just vomited something on the floor. I come running in the office and there's like a 2-inch piece of this cable, this pull tie that he had pulled off her jacket and swallowed. And it's filled with like tiny little nylon strands to make it flexible and extendable. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff that if an animal eats it and it gets trapped in there, it causes it. You know, it's like, dude, you have got to stop chewing on shit. That was last week. So Lucas is, we just have to, you can't leave him alone because once he gets bored, he just chews stuff up. Smeagol doesn't do anything though. Smeagol just sleeps all day. All right, what is this thing? You barely raise your head to look at it. It was struggling against the elements. Your eyes sting and burn, but through the tears you see it, a colossal silhouette. So that's not Heinrichs kneeling down, it's me. Alright, try to get a better look at the figure. Awareness text succeeded. It's called Urlon the Cruel. You squint and wipe away the tears, and for a moment your vision clears. Before you stands a mighty giant clad in dark power armor, lavishly adorned with bas-reliefs of snarling demonic silhouettes and punctured with prayer scrolls. 2 braziers are mounted behind his shoulders, burning with a natural blue flame and emitting black smoke that curls and twists upwards like a funnel. Behind the giant, you catch a brief glimpse of a crumpled figure bound in chains. The warrior's inhuman eyes bore into you. I am the master of those who have been felled by your hands in the halls of the primordial truth. I am Urlon the Cruel. The souls of my followers return to the fount of power they served, crying out for me to cast my gaze towards this sacrilege, and what do I see? Yet another lackey of the corpse emperor. They call you a hero. Pah! An empty word, a worthless pedestal among hundreds like it, all built by the lackeys of the false gods in their hubris and ignorance. This pedestal will soon become a sacrificial altar, and you will become yet another reminder to the expanse that no hero could save it from the truth. The giant's voice causes the storm raging around you to die down somewhat, as if the very sound of his voice is enough to make the whirlwind subside. You glance at the huge warrior and notice on his chest a winding azure symbol. The shades of blue seem to glimmer and mingle together. What do you want with me? I want to look upon the one who has disrupted my flock's duties and my master's plans. That warrior from my legion, the fabricator Censor. You think of their deaths as a triumph, but it is a mere hindrance in our path. There are other worlds that serve our goals, other sources of plasteel and adamantine. Revel in your victory. Will change nothing. Alright. Nevertheless, the blood in your veins whispers to the spirits that you warrant a closer look. A descendant of the rogue trader whose warrant Kinrad Voigtver sought to attain. By defiling the relic and binding it to himself with the tethers of the Imperium, he was meant to become my servant, a rogue trader who would do the work of truth, but then you interfered. Could it be that you wish to gain the true God's favor instead? Do you wish to present the corpse's relic to me and serve the truth? Alright, I'm gonna go Iconoclast. You waste your time trying to tempt me. It's not blood that defines a person's deeds, only their will. And my will is thus. Be gone! Pitiful insect, you dare? A gust of wind sweeps his figure away without a trace. The mist around him begins to dissipate, revealing the dark halls of the Manufactorum and leaving behind an oppressive sense of powerlessness. Abelard looks at you. That was a close call. For the sake of the Holy Terror, if I had lost a second rogue trader in such a paltry span of time. Heinrich said, I sense the presence of another psyker. Someone made contact with you mentally, then tried to harm you with sorcery. But I did what I could. At least you appear unharmed. Can you remember what you saw? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He said something about Theodora and about how my blood will force me to serve. We can theorize later. Alright. That was a surprise little encounter. So that relic we took off of Voigtver's definitely tainted our soul a little bit. I see dead people. Alright, we're going to restore the Manufactorum in the shortest possible time without subjecting the wounded plant to a merciless purge. The blast furnaces are lit again. Machines once more fill the air. Mag trains stretch in lines from one workshop to the next. But the cogitators by no chance carry alarming rumors of malevolent and foul traces of corruption still lurking in the deepest chambers. Alright. Now we get to start our first... yeah, let's do restoration. Still says I have a quest there. Or no. Let's do hull repair too. Okay, that's what I already have. Let's grip through the hull some more. My RAM doesn't do that much, so let's just keep upgrading the hull, I guess. We need to do something here, though. No, I don't like that. Arc Artery. Plus 2 extra range, that's nice. Ooh, I like the idea of strafe. Yeah, we'll do strafe. And do shallow jump, maybe? No, let's do vulnerability scan. No, hang on. That's not what I want to do. Strafe. Now I do this one. That's what it was. Oh, your ship has reached a new level. Why don't I have anybody as a warp channeler? Maybe because we took her with us on a mission or something? Alright, I need to take my, check my journal. I need to talk to Heinrichs to finish that quest. And my next, deal with the disrupted shipments from Kyavagama. That's Kranich. So I've got a check mark on that. Oh, so these are the only, because the only thing I've left. I've restored the shipments from Janet's. I've dealt with the corrupt shipments from Kyavagama. My next is restore the operation of the administrative apparatus on Dargonis. So our next objective is to get to Dargonis. Okay. Apparently I need to talk to Cassia too. Well, we've got conversations it looks like we need to happen, so let's check back in on the bridge. Any day now. Alright, where's Cassia?
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
I've heard rumors you're not getting along well with the crew. Panic flashes in her ruby red eyes, and your heart starts beating a little faster while your hands go cold.
Not here. I'm begging you. Aren't noblemen supposed to discuss such things away from the servants?
Alright, let's go to my study.
Then lead the way, and I will answer all of your questions.
Alright, what's going on with this? Alright, well, you're having multiple issues, so... Yeah, we've got like all these issues, so... You must have had quite the falling out with Jay if she's threatening to kill you. We didn't, I didn't, that is our private business. The issue is between me and Lady J. Please play it no heed. No one threatened me. Your information is incorrect. What about the messenger you rebuked who butchered his own family and then killed himself? I haven't rebuked a single errand boy. Oh, she says, I kind of went with a shine smell and skillful fingers with too much rotten ochre on his shoulders. I grew tired of his disgusting color and advised him to lighten his burden by casting the weight off his shoulders. He did not come the next day ever again. Okay, that's weird. During the warp voyage, he gave the wrong orders, which led to the vessel shifting off course. I saw something vast and predatory. I decided to change course without sowing panic. Okay, the officers are reluctant to be carted next to your chambers because of the constant emotional outbursts. I've already told you I can't control my abilities. What else do you want from me? Well, why do you need 100 species of birds? Huh. So there was a mistake, a little confusion between her and the Boxmaster. Okay. Oh my goodness, they wouldn't stop chittering. They were dashing around the room, defecating. I became angry, and so they started pecking each other and attacking me. Then I became afraid, then they fell over dead. I don't think I can keep pets anymore. Alright, I'm going to say you have a kind soul, but difficulty reaching out to people. I could teach you the art of communication if you like. That would be wonderful. She wants to ask me some questions. Okay. What would you like to ask? She says, I read a treatise by Pisces de Mobius very recently, who claimed that subjects would never have believed their new ruler was better than the old one unless the old one had been a tyrant. No matter the circumstances, the low-born rabble have become deluded about their prospects and rebel in favor of their base desires. What do you make of that? Claimed that subjects would never believe the new ruler was better than the old one unless the old one had been a tyrant. Okay, let's see here. So I have multiple ways I can answer her. Persuasion. It's always been my opinion that subjects expect two things from their sovereign: to abuse power and to bless their babies. Succeed at both, and boring essays become unnecessary. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go with the Imperium option. Alright, what's about the second question? According to the 22 tomes penned by the preacher Oistic Istvan the Forgotten, mercy and cruelty go through the world hand in hand, but people flock only to one pan of the scales. Would you rather inspire fear or be magnanimous and choose awe? I will exercise restraint and lenience. Excessive suspicion and mistrust harden the hearts of people. Please do continue. Alright, I must confess that sometimes I can hardly bear the burden the house has placed on me. I feel I'm not doing my best. How do you bear the responsibility for the billions of lives day after day and not stoop under all the weight? It's not always easy, but I try to lead the dynasty forward towards prosperity by worthy means. Alright. You know, one thing I wish it would do when you finish these conversations is put you back out of the bridge where you were when you started. Because instead you have to manually exit out of here every single time. Which is... Remember that whole loading screen conversation everybody was having from Starfield? Yeah, that's kind of the same thing here. Alright, I need to go find Heinrichs. Oh, my pet's on the bridge now. That's a good boy. Who's a good Lyserax? Lacerax or whatever? Alright, let's go find Heinrichs. Oh, it's probably easier if I just do it this way. Huh, I can't talk to him at the moment. That's interesting. The interrogator wishes to debrief. He's requested a mission. He's requested an audience. It says talk to Heinrichs on the ship's bridge, but I can't actually talk to him. Wonder what's up with that. That's to my quarters. Why did I just suddenly go to Kranich? I feel like there's a bug happening right now, because all I did was run near... Alright. Why does it still have a question mark on it? Alright. Well, I think we need to make our way to the next quest objective. I have no idea where it's at, so I have to look this up online. 'Cause that's what I did last time too, so I don't want to, because of the way I'm streaming this game and playing, I'm not a big fan of roaming around the universe trying to find the places I want to go to. So I'm totally looking these up. What is this over here? I actually have a Mundus Valancius. This has got to be where we're going. Oh yeah, we're gonna make the trip directly there. It's gonna be dangerous. We're gonna get hit with something. I could reduce the travel if I wanted to. Let's... Oh, hang on. Did I just screw the pooch there? No, I didn't. Let's reduce route difficulty. Alright. Let's go back to the bridge and see if Heinrichs will still talk to us or not. Alright, there's the high factotum. There he goes. Now I can talk to him.
To what do I owe this visit?
Dun, 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 dun. Are you satisfied with the results of your mission on Kiawagama?
Of course. The fabricator sensor's machine was stopped. Not another soul will be sent into the mouth of the archenemy. In time, we will succeed in uncovering and stopping other schemes of the cult. We dealt a blow not only to the cultists, but to the archenemy itself. I cannot help but be pleased.
So I want to know what happened when you touched the cogitator.
No servant of the God Emperor has closer dealings with corruption than the agents of the Golden Throne. In its quest to guard the Imperium against its foes' most devious and secret schemes, the Inquisition seeks to understand the essence of evil. It is not enough for us to burn or cut down a rotten seedling. We must study it, understand it, touch it. Every time any of us do our duty, we are risking our very souls. But when it comes to psychers, the soul of a psyker is especially enticing to the archenemy. The cogitator was stopped, yes. I touched an infernal machine that was created to serve chaos. I used it. I delved into the principles of its operation. That was enough. Corruption needs only the briefest brush of contact. When I touched the cult's cogitator, I drew the thousand-eye gaze of evil upon myself, as any agent does when they interfere in the schemes of those who serve the ruinous powers. And that evil undoubtedly left an invisible mark upon me, as it does on any acolyte who fights against the archenemy. And this will be the case every time I do my duty. I know a good deal about the fates of those who have served the throne before me. Enough to know that my path leads to one place, and one place only.
To the paths of hell. Alright, what are you gonna do next?
My visit to Kiava Gamma did not produce answers to all my questions, but we did succeed in dealing a blow to the cult by destroying the Fabricator Sensors machine. I have directed my spies to track the sect's surviving leaders. I am certain that they will have useful information for us soon. Though small, this is a victory for the Golden Throne, and I have you to thank for it.
All
Thank you
right.
for finding the time for our conversation.
All right, so I think we can now go back to the ship system. We have multiple missions here. All right, let's visit this planet. Let's see what this system has in store for us. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman on the line. I can report that the quest for the capital world of the Von Valance's dynasty is finally at an end. Dragonus is straight ahead. We have received countless greetings. His subjects would like to know when their master will be arriving. Tell Dragonus the Rogue Trader is coming home. Heinrich says I will be pleased to accompany you during your visit so I can personally introduce Aculus Scalander, servant of the Golden Throne. He previously attended Theodora on Dargonus. I'm counting on your benevolence. I gotta take him with me again? I just can't seem to get rid of Heinrich no matter what I want. That's a dead planet. Well, lava world, but still. Alright, here's... Oh, there's an Adeptus Mechanicus ship. Transport shuttle bearing the markings of the mechanics approaching the ship. Magos Tarza's delegation intends to board a ship and gain an audience. He intends, not humbly requests. Pascal says many of my tech comrades neglect diplomacy when interacting with the laity. It is regrettable. What do they want? They have ignored our requests. Such arrogance is hardly trivial. Punish them for their disrespect by landing on the dock at the farthest and most dilapidated airlock, so it takes them an eternity to traverse the ship. Ha! Pascal wants to be at the audience. Sure. I don't want. Yeah, I suppose this is fine. This is gonna be on the upper decks.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
A group dressed in the crimson of the priesthood of Mars walks towards you. Their gazes are fixed on Pascal. You note the group is not monolithic. Some of its members are more heavily armed and follow a large tech priest clad in battle armor. Others keep a respectful distance and cast inquiring looks at their own leader, whose hunched posture belies his tall frame. Despite the hood hiding his face, you recognize him as Opticon 22, who you encountered on Footfall. Meanwhile, the other enormous tech priest points his hand at Pascal and lets out a booming roar not unlike a factory alarm. Thou shalt not suffer a heretic in thy forge, for rust begets rust. Pascal Hanneman, in the name of the Adeptus Mechanicus, you are under arrest. The hunched servant of the Omnissiah turns to you. Diplomacy mode engaged. Announcement. The Adeptus Mechanicus offer their apologies and would like to inform you of the necessity of conducting an operation to detain/arrest/terminate a faulty unit of the Rogue Trader's territory. Let's study the two priests of Mars. You identify the rare armor the enormous tech priest is wearing as a Secutor's plated mechanized suit. Carries the imprints of many battles as markings that announce its status as a relic. Some of the armor's damage looks fairly severe to the point of endangering its operation. The slivers of flesh revealed under the steel are marked with terrible chemical burns. So he's completely tortured. On what charge are you trying to arrest a member of my retinue? This heretic is accused of stealing personal identification codes, spreading tech heresy in the world of Kiavagama, and making an attempt on the life of a servant of the Omnissiah. Oh wow. This faulty unit will be removed in the name of the Omnissiah. I condemn you. Lightning flashes across his armor, agony resounds at the blare of his Vox alarm. In contrast, Pascal speaks quietly and coldly. You are malfunctioning, tech comrade. I deem your logical conclusions questionable. Opticon says this statement is false. Tech brother Tarsus Heinemann is willingly undergoing holy torment deterioration, which does not affect his cognitive capacity. Unit calling itself Pascal, we have information that implicates you. Having learned that you are or were a member of the Retinue Maintenance Specialist Service of the Rogue Trader, we've come with the goal of meeting you, intercepting you, engaging you in combat. Ugh. Well, I have lots of ways to do with this. How do you suppose he was involved? Our data suggests the unit, which used Magos Explorer Taurus human identification kit, performed an analysis to upgrade to the planetary Vox array and introduced data need to be scrapped out into its operation. Points to this unit's criminal complicity with the heretic Cubus Delphum. I need to see evidence. Request approved. Ready to work in cooperative mode. I'm going to use my persuasion. I've been to Kiavagama and I can assure you Pascal has nothing to do with it. I succeeded in that check. Oh, Tarsus doesn't want me involved.